Hello everyone. A bit of a wider angle today because this lock needs some pretty fine tension. For those who know, it needs no introduction, but for those who don't, the ASSA 700 is a 7-pin lock with only pin tumblers. It is probably the hardest pure pin tumbler lock in the world. And, you know, is comparable in difficulty to the ASSA twins. So, definitely is a difficult lock. This one was sent to me by Dynamic, who got it off of Pliz 7 on Lockpickers United. It's got a pretty tough bitting, some highs, some lows, a medium. What more to say? I've had a lot of ASSA 700s come across my desk in the last 5 years. They have all evaded recording, so hopefully today will be a bit different. We'll use 1.2mm up top, and I will use a wide angle on the camera because this lock needs such fine tension control that I worry that I won't be able to do it properly without having it preferentially done like this. So inside of the lock, as I said, has 7 pins. There are 3 tapered pins, and there are 4 gin style pins. In this case there are 3 Christmas trees, which are a bit like gins with spools, which means obviously that they are much harder to manage, as they basically have a secondary security feature in of themselves. The key pins are tapered on all of these, and the gins have matching, or the Christmas trees as well have matching torpedo key pins, which means that any overset and you're done. Not much more to say about the lock itself, it's just an absolute beast, and in my opinion, at least for this model, the hardest part is actually getting it into the milling, where you get a deep false set off the get-go. Yes, tapered pins need a lot of tapping, and yes, it's an unforgiving lock. You can use pretty heavy tension as I am now, and the tape still won't be guaranteed to stay up. I'll also show you the keyway after this, because quite honestly I was having some troubles with the front part, which has some very high lifts in this. Alright. Maybe a bit of core movement there. Here we are. So, you get a big core movement and you hear quite a loud sound as you get into the milling. Now you have to ease the Christmas trees out of the spooling. So there's pin 2 there. I think I already set pin 1. And it seems I've already set pin 6 as well. So, now comes the hard part, which is where you add a second tensioner, and then you have to float. So this keyway sucks because you need to have a second tensioner that not only doesn't interfere with the top one, but also manages to have a snug enough fit to be able to float properly. So the only thing I have is this 50 thousandths thick 2-in-1, which actually works, which kind of sucks. So we'll have to go from here. And a big problem that I had with this lock was actually determining which pin I was on. So that's 3. And you have to lighten up your tension a bit before you even start floating to be able to feel if you're properly on the gins or not. I think I need to pull this out a bit, or else I'll be interfering with the keeping that. Alright, for example, pin 1 and pin 2, you really have to make sure that you're on the pin, or else you'll be touching warding, and I think that this pick is not good for it. So we'll have to switch to this multi-pick FO5, 0.5mm. And you can hear me whacking against warding. Right, that's pin 4 set. I need something a little bigger. We'll try the smoky. Four, 3, 2. You really have to index yourself. I can't tell if I've lifted that enough or not. Let's check. 4, 2. I don't really like what I'm feeling there. Try 1. I don't think I'm even touching 1. Yeah, I was touching the warding between 1 and 2. See, that's a relatively common problem. Is that you're not actually touching the right part of the lock. So I've set the back 2, and it feels like I've set 1 as well. So this should mean that's just 2. Maybe. Let's see. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh, felt a little bit of movement as I hit 2 there, but yeah, 1 set. So now I just have to get really good perches on 2, which I'm not getting with this hook. Yeah, this lock is pretty dastardly. There we are. Oh my goodness. Alright, well, 9 minutes. That's honestly better than I could have hoped for. Oh, what a tricky little thing. Alright. ASSA 700s are special also because they actually require a shim. If you don't shim, you will brick your lock. Not irreversibly, just you'll brick it. C-clip. These C-clips on the back of 700s are a lot like all the ASSA ones, which kind of deform and never come back on correctly, so yeah, that's my bad. I'll flatten it down again if with some sort of clamp if he doesn't want me to use a 3D printed one instead. So the shim is actually only necessary on the back part because the C-clip groove is wide enough that it actually, you can have gin heads drop in. I have this special follower made by Pinball. It wasn't made for this lock, but it certainly seems to work well enough for it. Alright, we'll put that up here. 7 pins. We'll dump them out. I won't dump the drill protection out because I'm lazy. 1, 2. Where am I to do this? Oh. So I'm pretty happy that that was smooth, all things considered. 3 and 4. This will be 4. This is 3. I'll give you guys a close-up of these pins after because they are quite tricky. 5, 6, and 7. Oh, 7 has a torpedo in it. Yes, so you'll see here that there's matching milling in 4 of the slots. That's because, as I said, there's only 4 gin style pins. That doesn't make this lock any easier, let me tell you. It's well and truly deep enough on all 4. And yes, this drill protection does actually come out, but I'm not going to take it out for now. I want to show before we got the tops. These key pins are crazy. They're torpedoes, but they're also tapered. So if your tension control isn't good enough, you will overset. And obviously, because you'll feel like the key pin is still riding, you'll push it up and you'll overset your key pin, which means you'll go into the torpedo and you'll have to reset the lock. Quite frankly, there's no way for you to drop it below shear because the torpedoing is wider than your gin head. So you drop the entire pin and it's a pain. What's not common, aside from the fact that these key pins also have a bit of tapering at the top that you can see. They're kind of beveled, and they also have steel drill protection inside the pins as well for the solid ones. What isn't common, or maybe isn't as common, is having these torpedo pins in the non-gin sections. They're matched for the gins, obviously, because you have to float them. So if you overlift, then there's a problem. But as we can see in the core, slots 3, 5, and 7 do not have any milling. So having the matching milling there, matching torpedo there makes a little less sense, but obviously tapers are quite easy to overshoot. So let me make sure this is all in frame. So take out pin 1, which is a Christmas tree. I'll dump out that spring as well. And they're these really tall ASSA 700. What the fuck? Huh. That's not the same style as I know, but they're very tall ones. Normally they have a double spring in the center there, but I suppose not this one. Number 2 is a Christmas tree. All of these tree or ginning depend on the bitting. The higher the cut, the Christmas tree and the lower cuts will have gins because there's not enough space to accommodate a Christmas tree. And the stacks are vaguely balanced. 3 is a taper, as I said. 4 is a gin, which I will flip over. And after this, we'll go from the back. So let's go from the back here. As I said, 7 is a taper, which is why it's a bit strange that we would have a torpedo, but I have seen it before. It's just somewhat uncommon. That's just how locksmiths do. 6 is a... Whoopsie. Well, you saw the head, so it's not so bad. It's a Christmas tree. And the last one in 5 is a taper, which you probably won't have seen, but that's okay. Tapers are the same on both sides. Very tall springs. Again, they're not the style that I know from the ASSA 700, but they definitely are one that exists. Okay, let's have a bit of a close-up of these pins, because these pins are interesting. Okay, so we see a small key-pin with a long tree, small key-pin, long tree, a medium length key-pin with a medium length taper, super long key-pin with a short gin, a medium length, maybe shorter key-pin and a long taper, super long key-pin with actually a tree. A shorter tree you'll see comparing the standard part. And then the first, and this long key-pin with a short taper. Again, there's matching milling for the slots where there are the gin pins. Otherwise, that's the ASSA 700. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day.